Welcome back to Xpwaste, where it's a long walk if you don't have the 10 GP. I'm Michael.
And I'm Oxie. For those of you who are new around here, hello, welcome. We're a podcast that talks predominantly about old school RuneScape. I have said that so many times on the odd numbered episode, it's starting to sound like a script. It's not. It's just what I go for. But if you are new around here, like I said, RuneScape is the name of our game. Mostly. We tend to get distracted a lot, and that's just how we roll. But all roads end at Rooney. If you're not new around here, welcome back. I haven't hit on you guys in a while, so sup, babies? Hi there. Michael, how was your week? Your little one leveled up today, didn't he?
He leveled up.
Yeah.
Not today, a couple days ago, but he's a big 1-1. I was gonna say 1-0, but that's incorrect.
It's like level 99 baby right there, dude. That's great.
He's not 10 years old. No, it was a good weekend. I took off Friday, and then I'm off Monday, and then I'm off Tuesday. So like, I have a 5-day weekend, which is awesome. So I'm gonna try and get this episode edited during those days, so I can just relax. But it's been a good week. I got a Barrows item on my group Ironman. It's kind of hype. First one. What KC was that? I didn't even look. Hold on. I'm gonna check our group. Oh man, I cropped out the photo. I think it was like 14 KC, which is on rate for a piece, right? It's like 1 in 16.
Oh yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so
but Barrows is weird because like you won't get a piece for like a couple, like you won't get a piece for like a couple dozen chests, and then you'll get like 3 in a row or something like that, or you'll get a double chest or something. So
ooh.
Barrows is really weird. That's not actually how the math works. It's just how it feels like it works, you know. But
yeah, so I got a Darox plate body, and I tried to equip it, and I'm 60 defense. So then I promptly did Bon Voyage, finished out the whole Fossil Island quest line, and I've been at Ammonite crabs like pretty much nonstop. And I'm probably gonna hit 70 during the recording session tonight because I'm 68 with like 30k until 69. Nice. And then it's probably like another 60k until 70. So that's gonna be hype. I'm already 70 range, and if I do get a piece of Carol's, then I'll be able to wear that. And then I think if any Arams come up, I'll just need to bust out 70 magic, right? Is that what the requirement is? Okay.
Yep.
Oh wait, 70 strength in attack. Is there a strength requirement for the great axe?
That's a good question. 70 strength. There's a strength requirement for Darox great axe and Torag's hammers. Yeah.
Okay.
But there's not a strength requirement for Varix.
You know what? I'll probably just stay at Ammonite crabs until 70 attack and 70 strength. Just round it out, base 70s combat. And then my plan after this is either to go back to Barrows, or Guardians of the Rift, or go to Green Dragons outside of the Ferox Enclave. TMD said that he made like close to a mil GP, like trying to get 60 prayer with all of the hides and like making the bodies and alking them and stuff. So that sounds really tempting to just camp Green Dragons for a long time, get a bunch of bones. Because if I do the math, do the old math on the pod, if I want to get 70 prayer, well, let's do...
What's your prayer level right now? You need about 1,200 bones. You need about 1,200 to 1,500 bones. I also need that on my groupie. So you need about 1,200 to 1,500 Green Dragon bones. Don't worry, I know.
Okay, if I want to get to 65 prayer, it's only 350.
350 dragon bones?
Oh, sorry, 60, not 65. Yeah, to 60, it's 350 dragon bones.
Okay.
Let's see what 70 is. 70 is 1,200. Can you imagine?
It's almost like I did the math 3 weeks ago.
That's true. I might stop at 60, because then that's at least chivalry unlocked if I do the quest, which I think that
Michael, stop.
What?
Stop right there. Stop. You are not gonna do a chambers with chivalry. Get 70 prayer. Don't put 60 prayer as a goal. I'm making the entire audience of Xpwaste hold you accountable. You are not doing PVM with just chivalry. You're just gonna go to 70 prayer. We can do it together. We can
TMD
AFK
is 60.
dragons.
TMD is 60.
You know who else has
and
to get 70 prayer? TMD. Because we are not going to kill
53.
Ulm with chivalry. It's not going to happen.
Let's see. What is Mel? What level is Mel? Mel's 49 with me. And then to round us off, round up the group. I mean, Scape's only 45. So I feel like the average prayer level in the group is like 50. So
yeah,
if I hit
about
60,
right.
we're there. Anyway, I might go to 70. It's just going to take a long time. That's so many bones.
That's Ironman mode,
and then
baby.
I gotta pray at the altar with 1,200 bones.
That's Ironman mode, baby.
That's Ironman mode.
Oh, a relevant complaint for today's episode. Surely, a relevant complaint.
We'd be starting a bit early. If
we would be. But yeah, it'd be hell of a complaint for today.
On my main account, though, I'm almost 90 agility. Actually, I was telling my wife, I was like, I'm doing agility. She's like, oh. I was like, I mean, when you got the itch, you got to scratch it, right? So I've been motivated to do agility more than anything else on the account, because if I can get agility done, I can just like no life max and just feel good about it. You know what I mean? Because I've got Hunter, Thieving, Slayer, and that's it.
Defense?
After agility. Defense is going to come with time. I'm like 600k from 99.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not really thinking about that one as I got to train defense, because I'm still 96 Slayer. So we'll be there if I can get 99 agility knocked out. But I'm thinking I've set a goal for myself to at least do 100 laps or 1 hour of agility a day, whatever comes first. Because I think you can do close to 100.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, you can't do even close to 100. It's like 80 laps an hour at RD. So 100 laps or just train for an hour at whatever course. And Prif has been really chill. I like Prif. It's very LCI, less click intensive. We're going to start that. But that's been my week. How about yours?
My week has been okay. I'm just feeling the burn from the Vikings bingo still. I mean, I think the issue I'm having is I don't have anything super concrete that I want to do on my group Ironman to distract me from anything, because like the goals I have in my group Ironman are also like kind of monumental. Like it's 75 attack and 75 defense, and then just train strength forever. That's a lot of training. You know, do the Mauritania hard diary. That's a shitload of agility. That's a shitload of bones. Like we just talked about, a shitload of killing green dragons. Like it's a lot of. It's just the grinds I have on there are long, which doesn't make it any better, because the one grind I'm currently focusing on the main is also very long, and it is extremely click intensive. I'm still pushing 91 thieving. Of 85, gonna get close to 86 by the time this episode's over, because I'm gonna be spam clicking this already night throughout the entirety of the episode. Gonna be a lot of background noise on my end. You got the mouse clicks, you got the fan on. I was telling Michael before we started recording, the electric company does this really cool thing by me, where between the hours of 2 and 7 p.m. in the summertime, they double the price of electricity, which pretty much only affects the air conditioner. So AC is just turned off to save a little bit of GP. I got a fan blasting on me right now, so if you hear any background noise, the microphone is good. I just have a fan on for the first time, like ever, really, because I always turn everything off.
And I'm over here wearing a hoodie.
Yeah,
Oxie hates me right now.
It's 84 degrees, and I'm sweating. But there's also like Michigan is awesome because it'll be really hot in the day, starting at like 10 o'clock in the morning. It's like 85 degrees. It'll stay hot all day until about 9:30. The sun sets, quote unquote, at 9:30, but it doesn't actually get dark until about 10. 10 o'clock rolls around, 55 degrees. Like,
are you serious?
Oh, no, I'm not. We were sitting around the fire last night. When people came back from the boat, they were freezing their asses off. Wow. I hung out with the Lord Jake yesterday for like a 4th of July thing. He was in town. He was only like about an hour away from my house. So he and I met up and hung out. We weren't having any problems, dude. We were making the bonfire turn into like the Inferno. It was so hot there. We were just piling wood on. We're like, we're really comfortable. People came back ice cold from sitting out on the lake for the fireworks. But no, Michigan's great. But I'm just feeling like I don't want to thieve. I really don't like training this skill. I have said it so many times on this show that I think thieving is just too much. It's like I could propose a bunch of different like quote unquote fixes for thieving, which are just like alternate ways to train it. Like I know I've talked about like my heist idea, like where you send out teams and you kind of get like passive GP and thieving XP. You know, you steal from like Zolandra. It takes a week of IRL time, but you get like 70k thieving experience at like level 90 thieving or something like that. So kind of like how mahogany trees take a really long time to grow, but they give you a boatload of XP once they're fully grown, like redwoods, something like that. Just a slower, better, and not like better way to train thieving, just like, again, like we said, AFK, LCI, as Michael likes to say now. I don't think thieving needs to be fixed, quote unquote. I just don't like training it how it is. I don't think it's
fair.
Inherently a bad skill. I just don't like the training methods for it. It's not it's a personal dislike rather than an objectively bad skill. I know there's pyramid plunder, but like I can't do pyramid plunder and record. I probably could. I could like I've said before, I could probably do a lot of things while we record, but it's just it'd be a little bit too distracting because like if I mess up Artie Nights and just like don't click on it for a while, like it's not gonna be that much of a detriment. But if I just like AFK pyramid plunder in room 2 because I'm like trying to talk, like just a waste of time.
Get kicked out.
It's a waste of time. It's a waste of Pharaoh Scepter charges. Like, I don't really care.
I have a question for you. Are you not the type of person that can like put on a movie or like watch a TV show and just have your phone and just tap with your your thumb, or like, because that's how I got 90. I'm at 93 thieving, and I did it during skill of the week, and like I was just watching Survivor with my wife. I had my iPad. I wasn't even looking at the screen. I was just tapping with my thumb. I contemplated putting my iPad on the footstool and just using my big toe. Like that's how easy it is. But that's how I got through it, and that's probably how I'll get 99 thieving.
You know,
but if you're not that type of person,
and a lot of people say that, and that's actually a great way to train. Like if you're RuneScape is delightful for playing any other game, or playing any other game or watching any other show while still actively playing RuneScape. I have never been a big like TV watcher. I've never been a big movie watcher. Like the running joke with me and my friends is like name a movie. There's like a 90% chance I haven't seen it. Other than like Star Wars, Marvel, and Jurassic franchises, I'm not a big movie watcher. Even a show like Clone Wars that I could probably binge, that's like hundreds of hours of content.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a lot of TV watching. That's a lot of TV watching to do whatever. So if I find something to watch, which like I'm sure I will, there's Multiverse of Madness is on Disney Plus now. There's, they're making a bunch of like new dinosaur documentaries. I think somebody had the rights effectively to dinosaur documentaries. I think it may have been like Universal had the rights to dinosaur everything, which is so weird that that's conceptually what happened. That contract ended recently, and now everybody, BBC, National Geographic, Discovery, they're all starting to produce dinosaur documentaries over the next probably like 12 to 18 months that are all going to be coming out. Prehistoric Planet, when that came out, that was huge. I still need to finish the last episode of that. I haven't seen the last episode, but that's really good. So I have to find something to distract myself. I'm also a big YouTube watcher. So if there's ever like, when you get like a really good stream of like when my RuneScape YouTubers, my Ark YouTubers, my Jurassic World Evolution 2 YouTubers, and even sometimes like my Star Wars YouTubers, when they all release content in like the same stretch of days, and I can go from like Tasty, Solo Mission, Guns Chili, Evolution Squared, Best in Slot, Star Wars Theory, I can watch like 4 or 5 like 20-minute short form YouTube videos.
Yeah.
I skill like crazy because it's just the content I like to watch.
Uh-huh.
It'll happen. I'm gonna bitch about it, but I'm gonna get 91 thieving. The kind of tentative goal is to get the diary cape before I go to Europe, so I can say I at least got one cape before I left for Europe. And as always, the Inferno is still going. I'm really gonna try to force myself to send at least a run every single day this week. I know I've said it before, but like, I want to send a run every day until Thursday. So I'll hopefully have sent runs today, tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I don't think I'll send one Friday because I'm going to be going home and then just not going to be in the Inferno for a month. Because what am I going to do? Send a mobile Inferno in like
mobile
Berlin?
Inferno, baby.
Yeah, I'm in a mobile Inferno in like a cafe in Berlin. It's probably not a great idea. Wi-Fi's going to get me killed.
Oh no.
But my most recent attempt was like a couple days ago, I think. Made it to wave 31 with just a bad spawn. And then forgot how to right click walk underneath the meleeer like a dumbass. I could have survived. Just stupid and didn't. Like that it's not even a matter of like, oh, I didn't whatever. Like I didn't even have to one tick alternate. I just didn't. I clicked the boss that like dragged me out and I kept getting attacked. It was dumb. But an easy mistake and an easy fix. So Inferno's still not feeling terrible. I'm just bored of doing it, and I want it to be done. But you have to do it to have it done. Know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
But otherwise, yeah, I've been feeling a little stagnant with RuneScape this past week. I have been enjoying doing a lot of things in real life this week, and I have been enjoying playing other games this week. It's been a good week, just a really lackluster week in RuneScape. I repotted a lot of my peppers, so I went from having one small pot of a shitload of pepper plants to now like 5 pots of peppers and tomatoes that I've been growing too. So I'm gonna give them a couple days to like recover because I repotted them. They're all like a droopy and shit.
Yeah.
Give them a couple days to recover, and then before I leave, I'm gonna like give them to my neighbors and shit. I've already asked a couple of them like, "Hey, you guys want pepper plants? Cool, take this," because I can't have. I think I'm up to like 13 pots on my balcony, and like for no other reason than like my watering can isn't big enough to do all that in one go at this point, so I gotta make multiple trips with the watering can. And then like I have 2 tables on my balcony and 0 space for anything.
Oh no.
Like I can't eat on my balcony. I can't if I have friends over, we have to like move pots around to like put our drinks on the little table because like there are plants everywhere.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's gonna be nice to clear a little bit of space on the deck. But you know,
it's time to do some tithe farm for that unlimited watering can.
Yeah, the big Grim Crawlers can. I mean, I don't know how I keep that. I don't know how I'd keep that bitch on my balcony. I just have like a little Stardew Valley silver watering can or whatever it is looking thing.
Yeah.
I just keep it under one of the chairs out there. I'll post a video in the Xpwaste chat of my what my balcony looks like now. But yeah,
Sweet.
IRL's going well. RuneScape is just boring at the moment. But that's just because of the grinds that I'm on. It happens. Everybody knows RuneScape gets boring when you're on a shitty grind. So
I have a tangent we could go down for a second.
What's up?
I haven't really ever asked you this, but like, say tomorrow you get your Inferno cape.
Yeah.
The run goes flawless. Done. And then the next day you get your achievement diary cape. This is all hypothetical because you're nowhere near 91. So like this week, say you knocked out both of those goals.
Yeah.
What's next for you? Have you
like,
thought about that?
I feel like the Thanos meme. I finally rest. No.
Are you just gonna log out?
Yeah. You'll never see me again. I'll just like turn to dust. No, I have thought about that. So I have a lot of other goals for 2022 that I want to complete. It's gonna be a lot of skilling. I think post Infernal cape, post achievement diary cape. Like I said a couple weeks ago, I have 99s already banked that I've just like I've been slowly training farming because farming is just kind of slow, but it's there. 99 farming is in the bank. I've got cooking. I really want to get 99 smithing because like I kind of love blast furnace. It's a really weird skilling method to really like, but I really like blast furnace. So
yeah.
Gold is expensive nowadays, though. The last couple months, gold's been going up. But gold ore, not like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I have 91 banked right now, so it's gonna cost me a couple million to get 99. And even then, like, I might do a little bit of Giants Foundry, might get the outfit, who knows, might get the blade just for like a good cosmetic flex, but I think that'll mostly come through I'll mostly come through alchables I get through bossing, I think. It's a waste of money, surely.
Yeah.
But it's like decent enough smithing XP. I've heard Giants Foundry is quite a bit of fun. I've made 3 swords, 2 on my main and 1 on my iron. 2 of the 3 were for the quest. So
Oh, okay.
you know, I haven't done a ton of Giants Foundry, but I've heard it's a very good time. So I might do a little bit of that. I also want to get like a 99 in one of the 3 gathering skills, which will realistically be fishing or woodcutting, because CBA training mining. I am 116k away from 80 farming. I was telling Jake yesterday that I have gained a staggering 200k farming XP in the last year and a half. So I
200k in a year.
Yep, and I'm pretty certain all 200k of those have come because bingos have needed a hunter tile. Like that's an exaggeration. Like I've probably gotten a little bit more, but like I could look at my wise old man for the last year. I've not trained hunter at all because I just
did you say hunter or farming?
Hunter. No, farming. I've trained a shitload of farming in these last couple of years. Hunter, I've not. Did I say farming? I hope I didn't say
I feel
farming.
like you said farming.
I really hope not.
I don't know.
I really hope
My
not because
listening
I was looking at hunter and I thought I said hunter, but if I said farming, I apologize.
Okay.
No, I kind of want to get 80 hunter because I feel like 80 like once I get 80, herbivore is going to change the game. Not that hunter's even a bad skill, just like I don't need it, so I don't care. I've gone on this rant before. And then 99 prayer is like 36 mil, which is not a lot of money at this point in my account. Which, tangent of the tangent, that's fucking wild for me to say at this point. When I was doing Song of the Elves, I felt like Charlie Day, like looking out like crazy because I needed like 8 mil to get herblore, construction, farming, and like anything else to 70 for Song of the Elves. I needed 8 mil total. I didn't need 8 mil for one skill. I needed 8 million GP total to do herblore and do all this stuff. And I was so like shook. Like I'm never gonna make this much money, literally ever. Like I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Frankly, I don't know how I got 70. I don't know if I got like donations or if I got a drop at something. Like maybe I got like a Bandos Tacit split. Maybe I got a. I don't know if the Sarah Hilt was before or after my quest cape. I don't remember what it was, but like I got the money somehow. It's wild to think that that's where I was in my account then. A couple weeks ago, I got an Avernic Defenders split, and the 9.5 mil I got from that 4-mana Avernic, I gave it all to one of my friends, like off the rip. Like Jesse gave me 9.5 mil, and my friend had come back to Old School, and I bought her a cannon, I bought her Zamorak armor, I bought her enough runes of like every kind to train to like 80 magic because she was like using like Fire Strike or something like that. And Crash, I mean the friend I was giving it to, I've known her since before I knew you guys.
Yeah.
Like I've known Crash for a super long time.
OG.
She really is one of the OGs. So she got into Old School and she was streaming on Twitch. I'm like, oh honey, I like. She made a comment. She's like, I don't think I'll be able to finish this Slayer task with the runes I have. And I was at Verzik, and I came in I didn't even de-gear from Tob. I just walked in with all this shit, and I was like, run out of runes my ass, and gave her like 20 inventory slots full of stuff. That was just a whole Avernic split. That's more money than I needed for Song of the Elves that I spent and then gave away in like 20 minutes. And that's the point I'm at with my account. Where like, I could make 36 mil in a day if I get lucky. If not, I can make it in a week, just doing consistent money makers. It's just weird to look back and say things like, oh yeah, 36 million GP feels like chump change, which is probably a little cocky on my end, but like, I don't know. To answer your question, now that we have the Jad Slayer helm, And
Yeah.
if I get my Infernal Cape tonight and my Achievement Diary Cape on Friday, right, or Thursday, whatever day it is,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to be doing a lot of skeleton. We're going to be doing a lot of skeleton until Raids 3 comes out, and then we're going to do a lot of Raids 3, and then I think by the end of the year, I want to learn how to do solo chambers. Not because I like chambers, because I need combat tasks for it. It's kind of
when you said a lot of scaling, I just like, you know, a part of me was very happy, but
yeah,
I don't know. Are you? I guess the question is Thieving gonna be a brick wall for you to max? Thieving and Hunter.
There's gonna be a lot of brick walls for me to max.
Okay.
That's the thing. I have never been motivated to get a max cape. I don't know if you know this about me, but I've never once said like, "Oh, I want a max cape." Eventually, I'll be like, "All right, shit, I got 2170 total level. I'm just gonna get a max cape." Like it'll come with time, but I don't have the innate drive to max. And I think I don't have the attention span to max.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I will do content for an hour. That's part of the reason why doing like pet hunts is very hard for me. Because I can do a boss for like an hour and a half, and then I'm bored and I want to do something else.
Yeah.
I have a really hard time sometimes raiding with the boys because we'll send 2 theaters and I'm like ready to go do something else. And like I need like breaks in between raids. Like I need a lot of like downtime between big patches of content. And my definition of like a big patch of content is a lot shorter than a lot of other people's. So as far as like the attention span for maxing, that's really tough. Which is also why like some of these goals are really hard and some of these goals that like are just boring to me because like I don't have the attention span to sit here for what is going to be 2 million more XP at these already nights doing the exact same thing. Like by the time this episode is over, I'm probably going to log off and not play for a while. I do have to send an Inferno attempt today, but otherwise I might do the Inferno after the episode and then just not play because like I don't know, having the attention to max has never been something I have. That's why it's taking me so long to get a diary cape. That's why it's, that's why I like just now got 1,000 Zalra KC. That's why I still don't have 1,000 Vorkath. Just because like, holy shit, it's just it's difficult for me to do all that back to back. So
skill hopping is important, at least for my grind, and it sounds like for your grind too. I can't. I've proven that I can, but I don't like it. I don't like just locking myself to content. I've done it twice now. I might do it again with agility. We'll see. But that's been kind of like what's had me on the edge of quitting is like not skill hopping. For my entire account up until I started with runecrafting, I was an avid skill hopper. So hopefully that'll get you through some of those longer grinds. It just kind of sucks right now because there's nothing else for you to do besides agility. So it's not even like you could do like 2 hours of agility and then go train fishing.
Oh, you mean for me for thieving?
For your for your cape. Like you kind of thieving was probably fishing is the one that you could have gone back to, but you did all that as your AFK thing for a long time.
Literally, that's you're absolutely right. That is the current issue. Is like the only other thing I need for the diary cape is to leech a couple games of Barbarian Assault. And that's like 2 hours of like just not being a shitty healer at BA.
Yeah.
And that step is done, which I should do anyway because I need it for master clues. Like that's a matter of like CBA. I'll do it after I'm done with thieving. But like, man, I could use that upgrade for master clues.
What's the upgrade?
The unlimited teleport to Sherlock.
Oh yeah.
That's literally it. I don't need anything. I don't need anything else from that. Just the Sherlock teleport for master clues is nice. Yeah, I don't know. It's just that'll probably be my last step, Barbarian Assault. Which, funny enough, was what I always thought was gonna be my last step. Until I started actually playing a lot of BA and just like once I got good at being a defender, BA became a breeze. So
because it's like the hardest one.
Yeah, dude.
Almost like tedious.
I had to mark 5 tiles in Barbarian Assault to completely change how I play Defender.
Oh.
Go online and look up OSRS Barbarian Assault Defender tiles. Change your life. Absolutely change your life.
I think you gave them to me.
It makes Defender go from like running around with a chicken with your head cut off trying to get a fighter torso to like I can do a fighter torso Defender in 2 games and I'm doing something else. That's what I'm doing first, by the way. Dibs on Defender first for when we do our group Ironman fighter torsos. I'm doing Defender first because I still don't love the role, but I'm good at it and I want to just get it done. So
we should just go straight to level 5 in all when we do our
we do
Ironman.
like a 16-hour BA binge and we just get that step done. That would be like the most Chad shit ever.
We should coordinate this one day, but both you and I should do a tandem 24-hour stream. Just like do BA for 16 hours.
I don't know. I got tired thinking about a 24-hour stream.
Oh,
okay. You just said it. That would be fun as hell if you and I did like a very long, extended like Xpwaste super weekend on Twitch, and we just streamed from like 8 p.m. and 7 p.m. to 8 a.m. and 7 a.m. respectively. Just like did a 12-hour, something like that. Francine in the recording booth chat just said I was awake for 24 hours during leagues. I feel that shit on a spiritual level. You wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, shower, make breakfast, and you go to bed at 4:30 in the morning. The next day, when not leagues 3 because we had that like 6 hours of downtime, but like holy, those first couple days of leagues, sleep schedule is dog shit. So I feel it. Many days. Francine just said many days.
Just one. Take the whole week off. That's awesome.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Well, tangent aside, thank you for all that, Oxie. I think
the main title
of this, asked you about that.
The main title of this week was not Oxie babble about what he's doing in RuneScape 2022.
40 minutes later.
Yeah, I apologize for taking up so much time in the episode. But
no, dude, you're good.
It's yet another instance of I think I could do a short episode this week. It's tired. It's a holiday. Been out in the sun. Already at minute 40, and just like we just haven't even gotten the main title. So
it's gonna be another 2 hours, baby. The last episode was 2 hours and 9 seconds. I'm like, Oxie, we couldn't shave off 9 seconds or something.
It's crazy because when I don't know if you guys noticed this last week. I edited the episode and it was 2 hours and 1 second or something like that. And I was like, I don't know what else I can cut out, whatever. I didn't put an ending.
Outro.
I didn't put an outro. I forgot to add the outro. Which
just cuts off.
Which is stupid because the outro is a pre-made MP4 that we have that we just like stick on the end of the track.
Put it on there.
I just forgot to do it. I exported a 2-hour video, just no outro, and I was like, well, that sucks. I guess this week just has no outro. I don't know.
I was gonna text you about it, but he probably knows.
Well, after I had the internet problem trying to upload the episode, I just didn't give a shit. I was like, you know what? There's no outro. Episode 66 has no outro. Makes it unique, I guess.
Order 66. I'm really sad that this is 67 and you won't be here for 69.
I know. It's a big sad.
You can call in and just say nice.
Yeah. I'll do the intro that week. I'll record a video and be like, hi, this is Oxie from Copenhagen. Nice.
Would that be your... It would, wouldn't it?
No, wait. Because you have odd numbers. I have even numbers.
Mine.
You have odd numbers. Yeah.
Hi, welcome back to Xpwaste, where... Nice. It doesn't really flow.
It doesn't matter.
I'll figure it out.
It doesn't matter. It's our show. We can open it how we want.
That's true. Oh man, that's a spoiler for the next couple weeks. Anyway,
oh my God, this episode has just taken an absolute dive into nonsense. If you are new around here, we were not kidding when we said we're going to talk about RuneScape. We're going to get off track. What are we talking about today, Michael? We have got to give a point to this episode.
We do. So if you've seen the title, hopefully it makes sense that we're going to be talking about some of the pros and cons of starting an Ironman. So Oxie and I have been Ironman for nearly, what is that, like 8 months with our groupies?
More accurately, like
6 months of that.
Yeah.
6 months of that. I didn't log in, at least, because leagues and just feeling like I had to mine on my main account. So we've been Ironman for a little bit. I mean, I had an Ironman that I played on for probably like 6 months back in 2020. I made a YouTube series about it. You should not check it out.
R.I.P. Ironhound.
R.I.P. Ironhound. I don't know. Maybe my YouTube channel will make a comeback. I've been streaming a lot, and that's a lot of content that like can be used for videos. So you might see. I don't know. I'm busy. Never mind. That's not gonna happen.
I was gonna say you say that, Michael, but you and I both know, having been streamers and YouTubers, it's great on paper until you realize, like, holy shit, I have to be an adult. Like, I don't got the same kind of time I did like in 2020 where I'm just literally not doing anything. I got laid off from my like cafeteria job. So just like hanging out doing school bullshit. We're living on unemployment, making YouTube videos all the time. Those days are gone.
The dream. If I didn't have this podcast to edit like every week or every other week, I probably would pick it back up. But that being said, we're going to talk about the pros and cons of Ironman. We started a little channel in our Discord for all of our patrons, and there's some great discussion going on in there. So I want to just start out with like maybe what our top pros and cons are. And then maybe we'll go in and we'll read some of the ones that got posted. I mean, there's going to be some that overlap, obviously, because there's a lot of, just reading through the discussion that's happening on Discord right now, there's a lot of overlap there. So I feel like, people are going to say that the grind is rewarding. That's going to come up a lot. So I want to try and dig deep and really think about some of the more obscure ones that maybe not everybody is going to have on the top of their mind. But for me, I can start it out, or you can start it out. It's up to you.
I think one thing to highlight, you kind of already said it, but like, this is going to be a very unique episode in that it's really community driven partially. Like Michael and I kind of had the idea to do this style of episode where we talk about the pros and cons of being an Iron. And as you guys know, Michael and I are the most professional Iron Man in the world, and we've never once complained about being Iron Men ever. Never ever, just because we're so skilled. And Iron Man comes so naturally to the both of us, especially me. I've never used the Grand Exchange in my life. But this is going to be really fun and really unique because we have so many people in here responding with their various like takes on what Iron Man mode means to them, what's good and what's bad. So this is not only just our opinion, but this is also kind of like, this is how our Discord, our community, this is you guys at home, how you guys feel about Iron Man mode. So this is going to be kind of fun to like highlight the community's thoughts on it as well. But we might as well just come out swinging. One of the biggest things that I know you and I are both going to say, and what has been said by effectively everyone in this chat already, is that one of the biggest pros of this game mode, and I hate admitting this out loud, completing things feels fantastic in Iron Man mode. There is a different sense of achievement getting a drop or getting an upgrade on an Iron Man as opposed to a main. I got a lot of upgrades on the main. I don't have many upgrades left to get, but getting anything on an Iron Man still feels, I don't know, it feels good. What do you got to say about that, honestly? You've got more Iron experience than I do.
Yeah. I mean, like, you're going to feel accomplished on a main account. Don't get me wrong. But, like, it's just, it hits different. The feeling of having to make your own money early game to buy the runes, then to use the runes to get the levels. Like, I felt super accomplished getting 65 magic for Lunar Diplomacy. Albeit Sugar Daddy TMD helped me a lot. So there was a ton of like donations from him. But along the way, I was alking stuff that I normally wouldn't alk. I was trying to do different, I mean, I did LMS, like I'm alking rune arrows here. So it's just the feeling of accomplishment. And then going to Guardians of the Rift, having done Lunar Diplomacy on an Iron Man, now I'm doing NPC contact. It just like, it felt more like I really did that versus if I was on a main account, it's like a couple 100K, you get that really easy. You just buy the runes from the Grand Exchange and you knock it out. There's much more efficient ways if you have the money. So that's a big one. And like the first thing that comes to mind is the Derox plate body that I got 2 nights ago. Like on a main account, if I had gotten that at the and take this with a grain of salt, like I've been playing for 5,000 hours. It's not a huge drop, but
it's still a million.
It's
GP.
huge.
Like
it's
you
a
know,
million GP.
Like that funds at this point in my account, that funds like supplies for a couple days.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know.
Yeah, like on an Ironman though, you can't buy that. Like you have to get it as a drop, and I got it. And that's like my biggest drop that I've gotten on any Iron account ever. I mean, I got the Tome of Fire first time around on my first Ironman, but that's like the biggest drop that I've gotten solo.
Mm-hmm.
So it felt really good. Along with that comes just the con, right? The con of all this is the grind to get those drops. Sometimes it can feel really grindy. Not sometimes, all the time. It always feels grindy.
Yeah.
Like a Barrows run for me right now takes like 10 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes, depending on if I have run energy or not. If you're on a main account, literally could just buy the tabs, or buy the planks to get, 50 construction really easily. And then you put a teleport thing in your house. It kind of hits different when that grind that usually would take a GE-scape. It's going to take a lot less. Now, it's going to take a lot longer.
It took me 3 minutes to do a Barrows run on my main the other day. Just for fun. I'm like, I'll use the same Morton teleport, so I have a timer. 3 minutes. It was like, wow. We were zooming through. I didn't use any supplies. Sang staff with max mage. We were ripping through the Barrows Brothers.
Dude, that's
shit on my
3 or 4
on
runs.
my iron. It literally is like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm also stupid and like to get 100%, which is gonna get exhausting, and I'll probably stop getting 100% at some point. But like, we actually kind of need the bolt racks for Scape.
Yeah.
That's we'll touch more on like the group aspects of particularly our Iron Men in a little bit, but I will say you are right. It does hit different. Anyone who has played Iron Man, whether you're a new Iron Man, a group Iron Man, or like a maxed Iron Man, max cape, Inferno cape, all that jazz on an iron, upgrades feel great. It's I think I said it during the stream, and I think I said it after when we recorded those time afterwards. Getting my fire cape and my Iron Man felt great. Not because it's a fire cape, but I mean there was a very it was a feeling I haven't had in RuneScape in a long time. It was a feeling of
nostalgia.
This not in a way, but not in the way that people think when they think, oh, Jad is nostalgic. How many times I gotta tell you guys, I didn't get to Jad. I barely left Varrock in 2007, let alone get to the fight caves, right? I was afraid to go into the Tazar area because I thought everything was aggressive. And if I walked down there, I'd die and lose all my stuff. So I never even played with the idea of going to do Jad at the time. So when I think nostalgic, I think going for my first fire cape on the main. I had the stream where we were safe spotting everything. I was chatting with viewers the whole time. It was a 97-minute cape or something like that with an RCB. So it wasn't it was, I wasn't burning through it like I do on my main. And then, I mean, it didn't come down to the wire, but we were getting hit by the healers and we were running out of prayer. We had maybe a prayer pot and a half left by the time the fight was over. So, obviously it was a little bit different. I think I said, I don't know if I actually left it in the episode or not, but I kind of explained that doing my first fire cape when I've never gotten one before versus doing a fire cape after spending 8 months in the Inferno was a very different experience. There it was obviously stressful, but a lot of times I could have died on an inexperienced account. I didn't, but it still felt like a real accomplishment. It brought back that sense of yeah, this is awesome. This This feels like an upgrade, obviously. And like, you know
Mhm.
me, I was wearing my fire cape to do everything. I was wearing it to,
Yeah.
do like Barrows runs. I was wearing it to like do quests and shit. I didn't need to, but I did. I wore it to farm runs just because, the graceful cape. I want to flex my fire cape, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So I think I have probably enjoyed that element of Ironman mode the most. Is a lot of the things that I've done feel successful. Which isn't to say that I don't have a sense of success now on the main, but as we spent the first 40 minutes of the episode discussing, at least for me, and I think Michael's very much in the same boat, those senses of success are so few and far between at this point because we feel successful after climbing literal mountains to get there, you know? Like it just takes a while. So that the accomplishment in the Iron Man mode really does feel nice.
It does.
Yeah.
When you're a main account and you're 22, 48 total, like I am, like you need smaller accomplishments to feel good versus like you're getting the level. Because right
Mhm.
now I'm about to hit 1,500 laps at Prif. That's a pretty cool accomplishment. Could celebrate that. But on a normal day, like it's gonna take me almost 2 weeks to get a agility level. So it's like
Yeah.
you gotta find the little wins.
Yeah, you really do got to find the small victories because, like, 1,500 laps at Prif. Beep, 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 beep. What do you have, like 15,000 more till you get 99 or something like that? Like,
it's a lot.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's really weird, but yeah, I don't know. And even like to kind of tangent off of like feeling accomplished for getting upgrades, I like learning how to play this game. And don't get me wrong, I still hate Iron Man mode, but like I like learning how to play RuneScape and learning the new and different like quote unquote efficiencies of Iron Man mode has been a fun thing to learn. It's been a weird thing to go back to the main account. I like went to do a tree run and was like, all right, how am I gonna get to Catherby? I pulled out law runes, I pulled out air runes, I pulled out my Artie cape, and then I'm like, the f am I doing? I have a house, I have a portal nexus. What? I just like completely blacked out. I'm like, how am I gonna get to Liletta? Like, I don't have a seed pod to get to Grand Tree. Like,
Yeah.
so learning how to circumvent kind of the low level grind again has been nice. And I think again, going off of that sense of accomplishment, I would confidently say that you and I are pretty good at RuneScape as a whole. We have
Mhm.
collectively probably 10,000 hours between our two main accounts logged in the game. We're pretty good at RuneScape. So learning how to do these new things on a low level account or a mid level account, literally stuck in the mid game like we say all the time, going back to the mid game with the knowledge of end game players has been a very fun experience. That's why I've stuck with the group Iron Man as long as I have, because I don't know, the sense of accomplishment expands past getting a drop and more like all right, sick, I can now teleport to this farming patch. Like this feels awesome. Or like
Mhm.
I saved up the money to buy these law runes, so now I can teleport when I do this quest. Holy, like that's great.
If you need law runes, by the way, I have like 1,300. So
I don't.
just let me know.
I mean, if you want to give me some, I'll take them. But like, I'm good. I'm set on law runes for the moment.
Okay.
It's just things like that,
Yeah.
Like it's.
I would say there's another side to that, like being excited about content, but also being very worried. Like, yes, we're good, but I'm very worried when it comes to like when we finally send our first chambers run. That it's gonna be daunting.
It's gonna be a shit show. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Well, like, yeah, it's things like that where, like, yes, our first chambers run is going to be an anxiogenic mess because we are not going to be prepared gear wise. We probably aren't going to be prepared skill wise. We're probably not going to have overloads because my whole ass, we're going to do Tecton on our Scuffed Iron Man. Muta would be rough. I mean, we could probably power through a Muta room, but, like, we're not doing Vanguards. We're not doing tech. We're not doing anything like that to get overloads.
Yeah.
So it's going to be brutal. But on the same token, like, most of us can mage skip. I think Scape can melee skip. Like, we're good at the game.
Mechanics.
Mechanically, we can do Ulm very well. But wow, it's gonna be that exciting feeling of like going for your first fire cape again. I'm actually really excited for that first chambers because I kind of get the sense that we're all gonna get that, you know, wave of nostalgia from like our first chambers that we all ran together. It's some shitty screenshots I got with Scape and Link where I have like garbage gear on, an abyssal whip, a toxic blowpipe, and 26 Sarah brews going into Ulm. Like, you know, that's God. You know what screenshot I'm talking about too. It's so bad. Like I'm so grossly prepared for that encounter. I get the feeling that like that sense of accomplishment from beating our first Ulm on these like terrible accounts, and like yes, we have terrible accounts in leagues, but like we're gods, so like leagues doesn't count. I get the sense that once we do get that first chambers, KC, that's going to be a great feeling. Because mechanically we have the knowledge, just like with the fire cape. Mechanically we have the knowledge to do it, but it feels good to do it for the first time again.
Yeah, I'll throw up a con for this, and this is in reference to Group Ironman. The desire to keep prestige is severely holding us back from content. Having that star in our little little group menu is hard. Because like effectively we could get carried. You could go on your main account and double log with your groupie and skill or just get points and get the potential for a drop. You know, we could have people carry us on our Group Ironman, but that ruins the prestige of the account. So then the want is to just only do chambers within the group, which is very hard. Yeah. So that's a major con for me. I don't know how long this prestige will last, but I'm hoping it lasts. But it's hard. It sucks.
I agree. For me, the biggest issue I have with the prestige in our group is Night at the Theater.
Yeah.
That's going to be rough. Because, like, I could dolo a story mode Theater of Blood like that, and I could get the quest done on my Group Barbarian account. No problem. Or at least, like, have the readiness to have it done. Because you could do story mode whenever. You just have to have a Taste of Hope done to do, like, the rest of the pieces of the quest where you like go fight the Hesporian, go to the little Nilo cave or whatever, watch the cutscenes. But once you have a Theater of Blood done, you can skip that whole part of the quest. So I could dolo on the main, no problem. Because like even if the iron dies in every single room, it's story mode TOB. It's a
completion at that point, you know.
Literally, it's a completion. As long as we can get past Nilo, we're golden. Because like tear everything else apart in story mode. That to me is the toughest part. But yeah, prestige is rough. Because like we can't scout raids for anyone, I don't think.
Oh man.
Or like we can't use our irons to scale raids at all. Obviously we can't do a lot of content with other people because we're Ironmen to begin with. I don't know how something like a Nex or Nightmare works. I'm not entirely sure if those. I don't think you lose prestige from big group bosses. If you do, that sucks. Like we're never getting Torva if that is the case. Never getting Torva.
Never getting Torva, or we just lose prestige.
Yeah, literally, because I don't know. I don't love the idea of losing prestige, but I also don't love the idea of like, I don't know, like I really want to do Tob in a year and a half on the groupie accounts, but like you guys aren't online, or like you're out of town, Scapes at work, TMD's with the wife, Mel's with the kids and all that. Like, you know, I just have to sit there and do nothing.
Yeah,
on my Group Ironman account. Like that's lame.
That's a big one. I think kind of for me turning a corner to kind of the same topic of this is a pro and a con, but I think it's a interesting pro. With Ironman mode, it adds just Ironman mode, like the umbrella. It adds a lot of variety to the game. I'm thinking back to like when Hardcore Ironman came out, when they released Ultimate Ironman. Like it's just a different way to play the game. And for many people, that's what keeps them coming back. There's so many people that just make hardcore Ironman after hardcore Ironman to where I feel like at that point, that's a con in my book. Like you can't keep a hardcore alive. So then you burn yourself out on death after death. And the game just becomes meaningless.
Feels like the Mr. Krabs meme of like, give it up for 99 fire making, number 18, everybody, number 18. Like, oh,
I would not. I just watching those types of people, and this is not a call out. Like, there's plenty of people who have fun doing it, but when you die, you're like 2,000 total hardcore Ironman, turn into a gray helm. For me, I could never willfully bond up a new account and go back to Wintertodt and do that 2-3 week grind.
Years of my life down the toilet. You know what? I understand like when Foe sacrifices hardcore and he's like 3,000 hours in a game would be life changing for someone who like needs it. Like, you know, obviously like that's okay. Start a new hardcore because your fans are going to want to see you possibly do it again in a couple of years. Like, sure. But that's gotta feel so bad to like, all right, time to do it all over again. Like, if my main account got deleted, I don't know if I would still play this game at that point. Because I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could do it all over again, which is crazy because I'm doing it all over again on a group Ironman account. But you know, I think that has
fallback.
I do have a fallback, but I also have like other goals to do on the main. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how you pull off the hardcore Ironman thing. It does certainly add variety to the game. I think Group Ironman was a great addition for that variety because to talk a little bit more about the very common con in our little Xpwaste chat here, the grind is a nightmare. I can't do it. This is why I hate Ironman mode. I say it so often on the show. And so often to the groupies that like, God, Ironman mode can be miserable. Without group Ironman changing how we do Ironman, there's no chance I would ever make one. I would get brick walled at like 15 farming and just not be able to play. It's like having both the ability to be helped by the groupies, like TMD's energy pots early game, literally game changing.
Game changer, yes.
On the flip side of that, being able to do things to help the group feels great. Yeah. Back like when we first started the accounts, I went and I collected all the dyes. I made like 80 something dyes for everyone. I was like, this is every color of dye you will ever need for every quest ever. So we don't have to get dyes ever again. You know, just like helping get like quest items, things like that. When we get these drops like barrows, it feels like I donated my Carol's crossbow to Scape. Because now Scape is gonna in turn hopefully get us blowpipes. You know, whatever it is. You know, it feels nice to be able to contribute to the group. I think my big overarching goal with the quest cape, in order to contribute to the group, like if I can get to Zalcano on the groupie, it's over. Nobody's gonna ever have to worry about smithing anything ever again. Don't gotta worry about money. Don't gotta worry about smithing. Don't gotta worry about whatever. Because don't gotta worry about cannonballs. Because like, I'll sit my ass at Zalcano. I quite like that boss, and it's good money on the main. But like, actually being able to use what you get is from the drops there. Oh, that's gonna be good. And I could do Blast Furnace, which like win-win. Zalcano and Blast Furnace. No, they go hand in hand. It's great. But yeah, that sense of like, I did this today and it helped the group feels good. I like contributing to the things. I also, the con of that is I hate feeling like I don't contribute to the group. Which like I know happens to probably all of us. It's like, man, what I'm doing right now is not helpful for anybody. Like I just took 1,600 buckets of sand out. Like that's not helpful. You know, but like
it's a huge flip side. Yeah.
It's a very double-edged sword, but I without group Ironman, I'm not playing this stupid game mode.
Honestly, I think same. Like I've already proven that with giving up Ironhound, my old Ironman account. Like I've already proven that Ironman mode is just not my cup of tea. I actually really like group Ironman. There's a lot of variety in the game. Granted, you could do it on your own. You can literally start 5 accounts and not trade with anybody, not use a Grand Exchange. But there's always that temptation. You see bones on the ground or something, or you're at Gargoyles and somebody else is not picking up their GP. It's tempting, but I mean, the Ironman aspect of it keeps you from doing that, which is great. But then there's the biggest thing, which is such a pro, group storage. Like, if you're thinking about making an Ironman, there's a genuine interest in just making a group Ironman and not having anybody else for those free extra bank spaces. I don't know. It seems like a no-brainer. Yeah, you'd have a weird like group Ironman helmet with just you, but it's something to think about.
It's 90 extra bank slots for free,
right off the rip.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you can do things like you can do tasks in the game to get more stuff that you're already going to be doing,
which is super cool. I love that because we're just pounding out extra bank slots just by playing the game. That's one of my favorite additions to Group Ironman. I think Jagex, if you're listening, that's one of the best additions you've made to Group Ironman was play the game like you normally would, and you'll get more bank space. I think that could. I don't think it has potential for main accounts because like people fly through that shit so quickly, and like they've already added the gold sync for main accounts and for irons as well to expand normal bank space. But like. That's good. If you ever in the future need to add more bank space, just do it through the achievements. I love getting unlocks for playing the game, which goes back to our original point about whatever. And that's not just with any game. Like, we'll use Halo, for example. I hate cosmetics that you have to buy. Not because you have to buy them or because you look stupid. I've bought cosmetics before, right? Like, I've purchased my fair share of armors. There's like skins in Fortnite, things like that. I've purchased, shit from the Pokemon Go store to make my avatar look cool. But something about like, yeah, I played for this amount of time, or I got this many kills, or I got this many wins, or I got this achievement, like, like achievement unlocked kind of achievement. I always love that way more. I've always said I'm a whore for a good cosmetic. And if it's earnable, I really do like that. That's kind of why like my fashionscape is generally things that are untradeable or things that I have received myself, just because that's kind of the way I like it. So that addition to Group Ironman of like being benefited for playing just feels nice.
It's funny. I don't know if the listeners / viewers know this, but like I had a bunch of money just sitting in my bank, so I bought Third Age because Oxie said, "Ooh, Third Age looks good at the Jad Helm," and it technically is untradeable for you because I can only go back to me.
I mean, I could. It is tradable. It would probably really mess up the friendship there, but like that's a couple $100 million. I can fucking do all sorts of stuff with that. I can buy all sorts of 99s with this Third Age donation Michael gave me.
Oh man.
But no, literally, I have it on right now because, like, who gets a rogue's outfit? Who gives a shit about that? So I just have my Third Age with my Slayer helm and my scythe thieving this poor knight right now.
Fashionscape, baby.
Exactly. That's what's important. Why train? Why train if you can't look hot, right? Honestly.
Exactly.
It's the same reason. It's the same reason I don't go to the gym.
I'm wearing Graceful on my main account. By the way, I'm double logged for anybody who cares.
Oh my god. Woo! I'm Michael's lasagna logged, but I'm not. Holy.
Well, I'm training Ammonite crabs, so basically don't have to look at the screen for
Ammonite crabs and agility, so he's barely playing on either account, but he's still logged in. One thing I do want to touch on here, there's two of them. There's two cons that I want to touch on. One is from Random Person, and one is from Toast.
On Discord, by the way.
Yeah, on Discord.
Sounds weird just saying
on Discord. Yeah, on Discord. Our special like patrons chat. We gave context in the earlier part of the episode.
Yeah, it's true.
Random Person said the biggest con is that endgame supplies are awful, and I think they have a fantastic point. I cannot imagine doing this shit on a group Ironman. I'm like digging into the deep archives of RuneScape, figuring out how to get a single Raynar seed, let alone like funding prayer pots for any sort of endgame grind. Because, you know I've told stories on my main where like I would get things like Snapdragon seeds, sell them immediately for Slayer, and buy like 6 prayer pots to continue to train Slayer. But you need way more than that. Like, even like training Slayer, period. Right? You get 95 Slayer on an Ironman. I go through 9 prayer potions per Hydra trip. I don't think anything of it because I make so much money at Hydra. I could buy a shitload of prayer pots. It doesn't matter. But to have like 200 prayer pots and then to see those 200 prayer pots diminish in 6 days because you're doing Hydra or you're doing Theater of Blood or you're doing any high level Slayer or PVM grind, like that sucks. Inferno on an Ironman? Absolutely not. Like the amount of supplies I have used and purchased for just the Inferno would make enough for me to quit Ironman mode. If I was like a main Iron, because like there's no way I get that many Toad Flax for brews. There's no way I get that many Snapdragons or like vials of blood for Bastion potions. Like there's absolutely no way. So I think random person, they bring up a great point. Endgame supplies has got to be the single worst part of late game Iron, to the point where like I could never have an Iron as a main account because at the end of the day, okay, we're out of brews. Guess we just can't do content for a couple of weeks. That's Melvor idle. I still play Melvor.
Oh, really?
Training Slayer on Melvor sucks because I'm at the point in Melvor I have like 95 Slayer, something like that, and I'm killing like the greater dragons in like the Perilous Peaks. Those things shred my food supply. I got the perfect whales and they just shred my food supply. I can do like 5 Slayer tasks before I am like out of food entirely. I'm talking like 35,000 whales gone with auto eat for those of you who play Melvor. I don't get through that many Slayer tasks because I almost have a max cape in that game, but still, like, to do a couple days of Slayer to be immediately followed up by 2 days of fishing and 5 days of cooking is horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
That reminds me of Mr. Darkside. He's like previously the most prominent Iron Man we had in our Discord and clan, but he de-ironed recently for that exact point. Like, just endgame sucks, but I can remember before bingo, this guy would literally spend weeks leading up to bingo getting supplies. So he didn't have to worry about the farm runs and anything. Like, he's just killing mole for like 2 weeks straight to have enough bird's nests to make the brews just for bingo.
And he would be so bored.
So bored.
He would be so bored. He would be like, can we start bingo early? Because like I can't do this. I watch him and Kyle, probably the other highest level Iron Man we have. Which, like, when we say highest level Iron Man, the highest level Iron Man that we talk to on like a daily basis, right? You know, I think Kyle is at the point where like I'm at in the account.
Yeah.
Similar total level, similar goals. You know, he's also pushing Inferno, which sucks for him because he can do like a week of runs and then can't do it for like a month.
Yeah.
And watching them prepare for bingo events over the years has been awful. Cause like you need so much food, you got to fish sharks manually. Like you can't even rely on drops. Like it's just it feels like so much for what is potentially such little payout. You know?
Yep.
Like going for even like Zenite jewelry just feels super expensive, like supply wise.
But the payoff to that, though,
I don't think about it.
It's massive.
I don't think about it because I make one trip of demonic gorillas for me makes enough money to fund an entire Slayer task of demonic gorillas. You make like, I mean, you make like 600K on a good run. You get alkables, you get seeds. Like, you make enough, even if you don't get a Zenite in a task. Demonic Gorillas are still like 3 or 4 mil per task, right? Like you make a lot of money without a Zenite. So yeah, I mean, a task like that on the main, it doesn't matter. But a single trip could be a whole farm run, or like a single task could be several seeds worth of supplies. So yeah, random person, you got a great point. I don't know how I could do that, and even thinking about it scares me away from doing Endgame Ironman.
I have 2 points along the lines of what random person was saying. It sucks that stamina potions are considered endgame on an Ironman. Like, I get that they're really helpful, but like Walkman mode, I feel like a bunch of people in here said Bowman Tar.
Dude, yeah, Bowmanator said the con is Walkman mode, and I feel that thank you, dude. Spiritual level. God, I hate Walkman mode so much.
Like, once we get rejuve pools in our house, it's not going to be the most terrible thing, because you just tell it to your house and get a sip from the pool, and that can be that can hold you over. But like right now, I don't have enough Rings of Dueling to just go to the Ferox Enclave every 5 minutes. And you can't really go too many places from the Ferox Enclave. So that's a huge one. And then the second point is going back to what you're saying about prayer potions. Like, for me right now, one Barrows run is one prayer potion in most cases. I can sometimes do it with 2 sips, but like, it's expensive to do Barrows runs when it comes to the cost of a Barrows run being a single Raynar. It doesn't come easy. Right now, at least. We have the farmer man himself, TMD, who's like nearly 85 farming, but it doesn't come easy.
Yeah.
So
it's hard. And like, that'll change the quote unquote better you get at the account. Not to say that you're not good, but like, when you get
thinking about it.
Well, when you get Barrows gear to where to do Barrows, you'll take less damage. When you get a higher prayer level, you won't lose prayer as quickly, because I think it's like every 16 seconds your prayer ticks down or whatever it is. You'll still have prayer. Like, you won't have to sip a prayer potion after Darok, Arim, and Carl, whatever his name is. You won't have to you won't have to sip a prayer potion, because you'll still have prayer. On my main account, when I go, I don't use supplies, because I go Darok, Carol, Arim, Torag, Guffin, Varak. And if I get a Varak tunnel, I just don't sip a prayer potion, because I can tank Varak. I have a high defense. The gear I wear is good enough. And Varak hits through prayer. So like, who gives a shit if I pray? Like, but if I catch the first 5 in the tunnels, I don't need to use a prayer pot, because I have a higher prayer level. So the better we get at Ironman mode, the less expensive Barrows is going to be. And we're going to start making net profit in runes. Like, we still profit death runes from Iban's Blast, but like, once we start to profit blood runes from doing Barrows, things like that, like that's going to be really nice. But for right now, it is an expensive task to do.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, but it just kind of eats away at the prayer potions. Right now, it sucks.
Yeah, I've done my fair share of tank testing at Barrows. Tora, yeah, man, when you do 450 Barrows runs on your main account with absolute like max, you forget Torag can smack. Those we joke about those hammers, but when they hit a 26 and you only have 28 HP, whoo.
I feel, but going back to your point you made before about like not contributing, I feel bad because I don't think I've gotten like more than 5 total Raynars in my whole account. So definitely on the net loss, or like on the negative of I need to start contributing. So I might have to start training farming. I'm only 20 farming.
I've learned farming contracts are a great way to do that. That's one thing I actually have benefited from through Ironman mode. Like, I've occasionally done farming contracts on the main, but like, I just do the tier 85 ones, plant whatever tree she wants me to plant, and like, I do it for Hespori seeds. But like, doing it on an iron is actually really nice, because you get a lot of seeds, and like, it's not uncommon to get like 3 Raynars from a pretty decent farming contract. So like, that's a thing to do. That's a thing I've learned from Ironman mode, which I like. Toast has possibly my favorite con in the whole chat, which is not to like pick favorites. I love all these points that people have made. from people like who obviously aren't us and potentially have more Iron Man experience. Probably, Lord knows the amount I bitch about Iron Man mode. This is my favorite because it's broad beyond Iron Man mode. He says a con is that if you don't set your goals right, you will end up disliking Iron Man mode.
Facts.
I can't begin to talk about Iron Man mode goals because mine are all over the place. I don't know how to properly set goals on an Iron Man, and I think that's why the game mode has been so painful for so long. Because like, I had a goal of wanting to go to DKs a couple months ago. That's kind of what, you know, sparked the we're going to get back into our groupies drive that we've been on. Because I wanted to go to DKs. I had a task on my main. I got Iban's Blast, whatever. I'll just escort myself on the main and I'll safe spot Rex. No problem. Well, then I didn't have any prayer pots. And then I didn't have the farm level to grow Raynars. And then I didn't have any Snape Grass. And then I only had 40 defense. And then it's like, yeah, sure, I have the goal of setting a Berserker Ring, which like on the main is go to Waterbirth Island, kill Dagonoth Rex until I get a Berserker Ring. When there's 40 steps between those two things on the group Iron Man, I don't know how to set them correctly. Learning how to set them correctly is, oh my god. And we talk about this all the time, especially towards the end of the year. Like, we love setting a good goal here at Xpwaste. We really value a good goal setting thing for people.
Speaking of goals, I got hard called out for something. I don't remember who it was. I think it was Imby. But they're like, I was like, I don't really have any goals in the Iron Man right now. I think I was streaming. And she's like, oh, I heard of this great podcast. It's called Xpwaste. You should listen to it. They talk about goals all the time and how important it is. I'm like, yes, I know. I think it was Imby. That was
sit, nerd,
yeah,
sit.
For sure.
But yeah, dude, I wish I could talk more about how to set good goals on an Iron Man because I've just been making shit up and it's kind of worked because I have a group to help me out.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the best thing that I can probably suggest to go off of this point, from Toast's point of like set the right goals, do some research. Look at the Osiris guide. Look at YouTube videos of people who do Iron Man mode and like can kind of lay out good ways to set these goals, right? Because I have a thing here for Sins of the Father boss fight. I need a Glory, I need tank legs, I need a torso, I need a Berserker Ring, I need brews and restores. Other than the fighter torso, that's about 40 seconds of buy offers at the Grand Exchange. And maybe like a couple days of like training Slayer or like going to Revenants to make that kind of money. Because like Obby legs are kind of pricey, Zerker rings are kind of pricey, but like we've spoken time and time again about how you can make money on like a low to mid-level account. On an Iron Man mode though, like how the hell do you get a Glory? It was like period. You expect me to get 80 crafting? How the hell do you get 80 crafting? Sand? I have 4,000 hours logged in this account, and it wasn't until 3 weeks ago that I learned how and where to mine sand. I hate Iron Man mode. It's things like that, right? Like, I don't know how to set a good goal, so I can't give good advice on this other than find out how to set a good goal from somebody else.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know.
You could watch, there's so many Iron Man from scratch videos. Don't look up Ironhound, but like Mudkip.
Ironhound, baby. Look up Ironhound. Iron Man
sure.
from scratch with 99 farming and a gray helmet. That definitely was hardcore when he started.
99 fire making?
Yeah, 99 fire making, yeah.
Look up Mudkip. Look up Alkin. These guys, they've done the grinds. I think
don't watch
Mudkip,
Swampletics
don't watch Swampletics. No.
Watch it because it's good, but not for an Iron Man guide. Don't do that.
No. Ultimate Iron Man. I feel like Mudkip, he's done almost all of it. He has a maxed main. He has a maxed Iron Man. He has a maxed hardcore Iron Man. And he's almost maxed on a UIM. The guy records every minute of it. So you can go back and watch like 100 odd episodes and kind of see what his progression was like. I mean, granted, he spent like 1,000 KC at Chambers on his Ultimate Iron Man. So maybe you don't want to do that, but there's definitely a lot you can learn.
That's
It's a
part
great
of
point,
Iron
Oxie.
Man mode. That's part of Iron Man mode. It's like sometimes you get the drop, and god damn it, sometimes you don't. Like
That's
that is
facts.
That's just Iron Man mode, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that little bit of setting good goals because I'm a whore for a good goal. God, I'm a whore for a lot of things. I'm down bad, boys. uh, but setting good goals and like doing the research to figure out what a good Iron Man goal is. And then more specifically, when you figure out what that goal is you want, figure out how to do that goal properly, if that makes sense. Now,
yeah,
there's no correct way to play the game, obviously. But there is a con here that somebody brought up. I want to say it was Francine in the chat, that finding efficient and cheap ways to do shit on an Iron Man is hard. So find guides on how to do that, I guess, efficiently and cheaply. And not just cheap in the sense of like GP, but like cheap with like minimal supply use, cheap with minimal rune use, cheap with minimal food use. You know, like what are there's so much more than money you have to worry about. I have found in my 10 minutes of playing Iron Man mode.
I was using Fire Strike to 65 magic.
Yeah, and that's just because we got buku amounts of mind runes from Barrows.
Yeah.
Like, and the stuff that like we got the GP to buy. Like, figuring out ways to do it efficiently and to save so many more resources is hard as hell. But somebody knows how to do it out there. Somebody who's not me knows how to do it. And you just gotta go online and figure it out. Like what's I don't take wines or cakes to Wintertodd. I have a max house. I teleport home. I drink from my pool. I teleport back to Wintertodd in between every single game like clockwork. Because I can do that, baby. But not in my Iron Man mode. So, I don't know. Just figure out ways to do it. So, do research to set good goals. And then do more research on how to accomplish those goals in a way that are not going to make you want to quit.
For sure. I've got a pro and a con, and I think we should move on. How does it sound?
That sounds delightful. What do we got?
This is kind of a paraphrase from a lot of people, but Lotkey said it, Francine said it. Just a big pro is when you are on an Iron Man, you tend to understand the game a little bit better. Like you gain a greater understanding of how mechanics work, because maybe you can't waste those prayer potions, so maybe you have to learn how to lazy flick. There's things that just don't really come naturally when you're playing on a main account. I guarantee you there's people out there who have never ran a kingdom efficiently or effectively, unless you're on an Iron Man.
It's me. I'm bitches. I don't know how to do kingdom. I should go check that. TMD maybe put like 2 mil into Kingdom a couple weeks ago. I should go check that on the main. I don't know.
See?
I'm gonna go do that right now.
On your main account?
On my main account. I've never done Kingdom on my main account. TMD was yelling at me a couple weeks ago. Maybe put 2 mil in Kingdom. I don't know. What's the point of Kingdom? Okay. We're gonna go find out on the main account, I guess.
Oxie is
keep talking.
literally...
I'm gonna go to miscellaneous.
Oxie is literally like living out the point that I was trying to make just there.
I got a couple hundred hardwood logs and some herbs on my Iron Man account, but I only put like 120k in because I'm poor. Like, I don't know what the hell's gonna happen here.
Yeah.
Keep pop off, King. Keep going.
Yeah. So like you learn how to get around the game better because you have to. You learn that there are certain things that you can do. I mean, in Francine's example, using charter ships, knowing the cheapest route. I don't know the cheapest route, but like I learned on my Iron Man that if you travel to Brimhaven and then you travel to where you want to go, Brimhaven has a cheaper price. So
does it really?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like if you go straight from like, I think don't quote me out, but I think it's Catherby to Artie. This is an example. We'll use this. This is a hypothetical. Okay. So Catherby to Artie is like 3,000 GP. But if you go Catherby to Brimhaven, it's 500 GP. And then Brimhaven to Artie is another 500 GP. Well, you just saved yourself 2K. It's something like that. It's not the exact math on that. But it's stuff like that. So you gain a bigger, you gain a better understanding of the game. With that though, the con.
After several weeks,
Go
apologies
ahead.
for interrupting. After several weeks and several million GP, turns out you need favor in Miscellanea. I've had 25% for several weeks or several years at this point, because who gives a shit about this content on a main? I got 1,200 pieces of coal. I got 1,000 mahogany logs, like 6 gems and 2 birds' nests. What a
Jagex
way
is just
to
rolling in the dough that you've given
what
them.
a way to spend.
You got scammed, bro.
I probably wouldn't have if I actually did the content properly, but like, I don't need to. I don't know. Kingdom works somehow. I don't know. What's your con, Michael? I don't want to think about. I don't want to think about the money I just wasted in Miscellanea. What's your con?
Biggest con of Ironman mode is like, it's in the nature of the game mode, but it is a con for me. Everything is solo. Like, you can't just roll up with the boys at God Wars unless you're doing next. You have to solo each and every one of those bosses because of how the mechanics work. If anybody else does a single point of damage, you're screwed. You're screwed if you get crashed. That's a huge con. People like to grief Ironman. They've done a lot of things in the game to kind of help with instances and stuff, but like Corp, you have to do Corp solo. You have to do Bando solo. And those are necessary upgrades for your account. Like, you can skip Sarah. You could probably skip Krill.
Not if you're doing Corp, you can't skip Zammy.
That's true. You can't skip Zammy.
And if you want max range, you can't skip Kree. The only one you could arguably skip is Sarah. Mm-hmm. But even then, it's not like you can just buy a T-bow. Some people have to do ACB Inferno runs. You know how you get an ACB? Like, a lot of content is so necessary, but
but you have to do it solo. So that kind of ties into the point I made earlier about starting a group Ironman solo, because if you wanted to, you could play a 2-man and dolo. But that's less of an accomplishment in some people's eyes. So I know that there are people who aren't going to do it. But that's a big one. It's just like everything is solo, or it's a hassle because you have the fear of getting crashed. If you want to go out in the wilderness, there's a great chance that either you're going to die and lose stuff that you worked hard to get, or somebody's just going to bop Venom at us and you've been there safe spotting for like 10 minutes. And then that's 10 minutes wasted.
That was somebody's point in the chat as well. I want to say that was Bolimer's point of like, I can't go into the wilderness at all now because like I don't like going on my main, but like, now if I mess up and skull trick myself or something like that, it's over. Like, that's thousands of hours down the drain. From Bolimer's point, like, the wilderness is horrible because of what it takes to get some of these items. I think that's definitely the biggest con.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong, I'll bitch day and night about Iron Man mode. There's lots of cons in my eyes as a spoiled main, but we've said on the show many times, and I do still firmly believe that, like, community is what makes you not want to quit this game. Like, play this game with other people. It's the best way to play this game. And, like, being in VC and, like, doing content together that you can do. Like, you can do Guardians of the Rift together. You can do any of the skilling bosses. You can do some PVM together, but other than, like, Nightmare, Next, Chambers, and Theater, you really can't do much together. Not being able to enjoy that kind of stuff on an Iron Man mode, that's big yikes, dude. That, like,
well, it's only a big yikes if you care, because there's some people, they play the game like an introvert. Like, they would rather do it solo. Maybe that's more rewarding for them to not, the solo mechanics are more fun. I'm saying it's a con for me because I don't usually like soloing bosses that could be done in a group. Solo Nightmare sucks, but they've built mechanics in that people can go and do. You can do Nightmare as an Iron Man and still get a drop, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
but
Nightmare, it's Nightmare, Next, and Raids are the only exceptions. Let me check the bossing high scores to double check here.
Yeah, so those three, apart from that, everything else is solo, unless you are in a group. But everything goes back to unless you're in a group on this one, honestly. Because, like, there are tons of cons that turn into a semi-pro or a manageable con if you're suddenly a group Ironman.
Yeah,
Which is on it, like Jagex is really doing a lot of cool stuff. At least this week, if you're listening to this episode live, like this last week, they made any Ironman account convertible into a group Ironman account by just deranking. That's huge. Granted, you're gonna lose all your stuff, but like you can bring your levels. You can bring
lose all your stuff.
They're not gonna let you bring your tradable items into a new group Ironman. I mean, even group Ironmen that leave a group to join another group lose their stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, it's harsh. But if you had a group, or like if you had a solo Ironman, you could just derank and join a group. It's pretty cool. It's like that's the mechanic that I never really foresaw a way that could happen. But like just taking high scores out of it, it's literally just a game at that point. You know, no, you're not getting any sort of unfair advantage, which is great. It's great. Thank you, Jagex. We love that.
Yeah.
All right, man. Anything else before we send these folks to break?
All our pros and cons are mostly personal. I mean, they're all personal pros and cons. Even the ones we read from the community are their opinion. We specifically asked them, what would you say are the pros and cons of being in Ironman mode? I can't say that I necessarily recommend playing one if you haven't already, because it's a different animal. I mean, if you like if the pros we've described sound promising, maybe give it a go. If the cons we've described sound miserable, just sit this one out for a little while, you know?
Yep.
But it's all our personal opinion about Ironman mode and all of its pros and cons, I guess, been the whole point of the episode. So hope you guys enjoyed it.
We should have had the classic chaos disclaimer right in the beginning.
The disclaimer right at the beginning.
Guys, thank you so much for listening to this portion. If you stick around after the break, we'll definitely have some more content for you, some fun stuff. So watch this commercial. You'll like it.
Ahoy there, citizens of Gillinor. My name is Captain Murphy, and I'm on the hunt for seamen. I need the hardiest seamen around, the best in all of Gillinor. What am I gonna do with all these seamen, you ask? I'm gonna take them out on my world-famous fishing trawler. Here at Captain Murphy's Fishing Trawler, we're going out to sea for a juicy bounty that only the open ocean can provide us. The seas at Gillinor are perilous, so grab your rod with both hands and fill your mateys' holes with that sticky hot tar. Yarg. The journey across the open ocean will be long and hard, but incredibly rewarding. You'll be coming home with enough fish to fill your sack for the next week, and if the luck of the sea be upon you, you might even leave with another man's soggy trousers. Yarg. Bring you and all your salty sea dogs down to Port Khazard and sign up to take a trip out on Captain Murphy's Fishing Trawler. Be the seaman you were meant to be. Yarg.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that commercial, because I know that I sure did. It is now time to shout out our lovely patrons. We take the first part of the second half every episode to give a shout out to the Wise Old Man tier and the KBD tier on our Patreon. So we'll start out this week with the Wise Old Man tier. And we got Escape Caution, Alagio, Ballimer, Basket, Benjamin R., Pork Cherry, Bloodman, aka Young Kyle, Hadadbod, C. Gladney, Morty, Duke Bradley, D. Falconer, Forestry, Francine 1225, Imby Jones, Jack M, Jake W, Jerry, Jordy, Potato Pancake, Posh Padre, Mima, 9999999. I think that's how that's enough nines.
Was that enough nines? Yeah. Hopefully.
Okami Dashami, or just Kami.
Okami Damashi.
Damashi. Thank you, Oxie.
Think it's Damashi. He's in the chat with us right now.
We'll just go with Kami. Ice, Hualo, Russ of Fury, Soggy Waffles, Shadow, Skalaxin, and here's the one that's gonna be controversial. Okay, Schuldvig. I asked for help, didn't get any, so that's what you get.
That you sir are a king. Michael reached out to Schuldvig. I don't even know how to say his name. And he's like, any help with pronunciation? He just said, no, not for a couple weeks. So we're gonna try to pronounce it differently, and by me I mean, or by we I mean Michael, because I'm not gonna be here. So for the next month, Michael gets to try to figure out what I presume is this rather Nordic name. Nobody tell him. Nobody tell him until August. We're gonna see how it goes. So thank you, King.
It's spelled SKJOLDVEGG. Moving on. The Chungaroo, Troll, Tristan C, Tyler H, and Zach without a K. Thank you so much to every one of our Wise Old Man tier patrons. And finally, KBD tier folks. You got it. My dad, Oxie's dad, all of our dad. Thank you, Oxie's dad. Kroll, the Lord Jake himself, our third favorite Patreon supporter, Ralph, Spartan Fire, and finally, Toast No Toast. If you want to join the Patreon, you can do so with the link patreon.com/xpwaste. We currently have a goal. We talked about it last week, but we have a goal of hitting 150 patrons. And during the first couple weeks of the month, our number of patrons fluctuates just because if your card declines, it doesn't count you. So it's kind of weird, but that's Patreon. So we are currently at the time of recording, we're at 63 of our goal of 150. Now, if you haven't heard about the goal, it is to hit 150 patrons. We haven't really set a date. There's no expiration date. But at the end of that challenge, at the end of this challenge, if we hit 150 patrons, Oxie and I will get tattoos. And we're going to fly him to Texas. He's going to hang out. We're going to do an episode live together. And we're going to vlog the whole thing. So it'll be a lot of fun. If you want to join, again, that's patreon.com/xpwaste. We have a ton of tiers. There's a tier for $1. So it's very affordable. And you would get shouted out as the Gnome Child. Shout out to the Gnome Child. That's enough of the Patreon. Moving on to the community question. Last week, we asked you guys, what's your favorite Runelite plugin? Or if you don't use Runelite, why are you on the vanilla client? Nobody really answered about the vanilla client, so we're assuming everybody here who answered is on Runelite. So starting out with Mima, said collection log slot completed. That's great.
Surely in reference to C Engineer plugin for people who are not
C Engineer.
People who have no idea what that means. There's a plugin you get C Engineer's voice when you do a variety of things.
So that's one of those plugins that I have never downloaded and I don't use, but it's so widely loved.
I think I like it when other people use it. I like watching people's streams and then just hearing dying on my hardcore Ironman completed. I love when other people do it.
I guess it's because I never watched C Engineer do anything. So not one of those YouTubers I watch. Jacob M says clue puzzles, which I assume is for clue scrolls.
That's the clue helper plugin.
Oh, yeah, the clue helper. Great one.
But I think specifically meaning like the slide puzzles, the light puzzles, because I don't know how the hell you solve a light puzzle in real life. I can't solve a slide puzzle in real life. Way back in the day, I did a stream, and just for laughs, I turned off the clue helper plugin for a hard clue.
Mm-hmm.
It took me 20 minutes to fail a slide puzzle. So much so that I had to drop the slide puzzle, pick it back up, log out, close Runelite, turn the plugin back on, and log back in order to complete the slide puzzle.
Wow.
My chat was screaming at me. You slide it up, you do the top row, then the left row, then you do the box. I'm like, none of this makes any sense. I'm going to turn the plugin back on. That was the most frustrated I've been doing Clue Scroll ever because I didn't have that helper turned on.
I for sure paid the $200K for Monkey Madness back in the day because I'm like 15, can't do slide puzzles at 15, but you can just use the Runelite plugin and you don't have to waste $200K. It's great if you're doing Monkey Madness 1.
I got an IRL slide puzzle of Sparty, the Michigan State Spartan logo, my freshman year of college. It took me the entirety of freshman year to finish it.
Oh my gosh.
It was like the size of a keychain, like no bigger than like a credit card.
Yeah, it's small.
Yeah, no, took me the entire year to finish it.
Mockcat says, Mostly play on mobile, so the click highlight is nice. On Runelite, I like the POH storage filters and somewhat outdated death timer. Also quest helper if no one else mentions it. I think people are going to mention it. Thank you. Mockcat. Oh no. Foldvig answered on Spotify. Now I have to read that name again. This person said 117 HD. My man's looking like a princess now instead of a grocery bag and full custom. Hold on. I'm going to reread that. My man is looking like a princess now instead of a grocery bag full of custard. What?
Not only is that just a funny response, but it's extra funny because Michael had to redo it because he couldn't make it through the first time. So hey, you're 2 for 2 this week, Scholdveg.
Nathan G says, definitely menu entry swapper. It's a godsend. I don't talk to people when I go to the bank or pickpocket IRL, so why would I want to in-game? Pickpocket IRL. Tom M says the quest helper is so good. Yes. I think that was going to come up a lot. Vince, if you're not using the door kicker plugin, are you even playing Old School Runescape? That is facts. And on every new account that I make, I forget that it's turned on. So when I go through Tutorial Island, it throws me off that my character just kicks every door in. So good. Like on my main account, I'm not going through that many doors. But like you go through a ton of doors on Tutorial Island, so it throws me off. But if you haven't downloaded Door Kicker, best plugin for Runelite. Seymour says, screen markers have been massive XP boosts for me. They make any spell processing, mainly tan leather and spin flax, so much more efficient. So screen markers, huge. I set those bad boys up if I'm doing something that's super repetitive. So if you're smithing, I set it up for blowing glass. It just helps you like not have to really think about where to put your mouse. And that's not even one that you have to download. That comes straight on Runelite. If you're looking at your side menu, just under the loot tracker, the 2 little boxes, that's screen markers. Change your life. And you can make them like super thin. You don't have to have them like super thick and in your face. Like you can bring the border width all the way down and it's just a little line. You can change the color. It's great. I love that. That's a good call out. The man 2110 says door kicker. Agree. Hard agree. Funkavali says the inventory setup plugin is by far my favorite. It allows for quick and efficient banking regardless of what content you're doing, whether it's PVM, PvP, or skill related. It's a game changer. Is that the one that you just press a button and it like puts everything into your inventory? Or is that is it a cheat plugin? Inventory setup plugin.
I think I would guess it's the bank thing, the bank plugin where you can like, so if you go to your bank tab right now and you like click on like your Barrows tab, for example, you'll see all your stuff in the different tabs as it is. But if you download this plugin and like enable it on a tab, you can organize the tab and drag items anywhere so it's not separate. I'll send you a screenshot right now of like
I have
what
those.
my
and like you can double items so that like you press in a line, saw your fish go in your inventory.
Yeah. You click like one time.
That'd be super helpful for PvP. Like re-gearing, going back into the wilderness so you don't have to spend 30 minutes looking for dragon claws and get there and not be able to spec the guy down.
It's super nice. I could like delete my whole PvP tab. I have like a main like top level bank tab for PvP, like wilderness stuff. I could delete that whole thing and just leave it in some like a different tab and just have like a PvP re-gear tab, which is so much more convenient than like putting a bunch of like bank fillers in my bank.
Oh yeah.
So.
Francine says, favorite Runelite plugins: skill progress bars, equipment inspector, that's one I've never used, banked experience, that's huge, mahogany homes, pet info, and Zora helper. Pet info is another one I've never used. Is that where you can like right click on other people's pets and see?
I think you can like right click examine them. I don't actually know, but I think it like right now there's a Thermi pet at Artie Nights, and if I've never seen Thermi, it's just a floating mass of like boogers. I have no idea what this thing is. So yeah.
Oh. That was all the ones on Spotify. Moving over to our YouTube. BV Coco says, my favorite plugin is the resource packs. It allows you to change the look on the UI in OSRS. There's tons of different styles, but I used a black theme. Love the way it made everything look. I, too, have resource packs, and OSRS dark mode, I love it. It looks so good.
Mm-hmm.
The brown is nice, but like dark mode is really cool. Aaron M says, Entity Hider is my personal favorite. I like to be able to just make all the other players disappear when I'm doing Temporos, Guardians of the Rift, and Wintertod, so it looks like I'm doing it myself. That's very true. On my group Ironman, anytime I've been doing Guardians of the Rift, there's just way too many people. So I have Entity Hider on, and I've hidden pets, so it literally looks like I'm soloing it every time.
I never hide pets. I think it's fun to watch. It's like there's a bunch of random animals following me around everywhere I go.
And then finally, Dylan J says, definitely key remapping. Don't like using F keys. I didn't know that was a Runelite plugin. That's interesting.
Yeah, you can.
I mean, I use key remapping on my mouse, so
no, it's a super cool plugin because like my laptop doesn't have F keys when I go home. So when I go home to like play on my laptop, like I'm going to do in Europe, I can now actually do PVM by key remapping my F keys onto my numerical keys.
Oh,
so I can do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it will open my F keys.
That's cool.
As they would with the normal ones I have set up.
Check that out.
Yeah, it's worth it.
I think the last one we have is from our boy Bucket. They said, my favorite Runelite plugin is the Fight Caves Waves. It shows the wave you're on and the wave you're about to be on. Back when I got my first fire cape, I had a split screen OSRS and the wiki on what wave I was on and what was coming up.
Bro, same. I honest to God, I pulled up. I memorized. It took me so many times to get my first fire cape. Eventually it was like, we're getting spicy with these waves. I'm like 40 something, but yeah.
It's crazy. It said the plugin made doing fight caves so much easier. P.S. on a laptop, so I mean split screen, not 2 screens. So that's even worse. My goodness. I have 3 screens, and I would never want to open up a wiki to do anything that I didn't have to. So that was it for the community question, guys. Thank you so much to everyone who answered. And this week we'll go super simple. It's in line with the main title content like we've been doing for the last couple weeks, but what are your pros and cons for Ironman mode? We'd love to know, and we'll answer them next week.
Super simple. We're about to be getting paragraphs worth of responses.
That's very true.
Michael said super simple. We have 8 responses that totals like 15 pages of content in this one in this chat we've opened up today. So super simple. But yes, we're excited to know about that. I think it's achievable of the WEC time.
Wow, it is. Yes.
It is time for achievement of the week. A pretty mellow week, I might add. It's not like last week where like it took me 40 minutes to find the achievements of the week because we had to filter through like hundreds of them. This week's been pretty chill. As far as achievement cape related things go, I don't know how many times I'm going to explain this differently per episode. Sweet and Tangy got their first quest cape. I think they got it after we stopped recording. Because it shows the last day that we were recording. But when we did the recording, the last one that popped up was for Vitney's 99. Because that was the last thing in the chat while we were doing Achievement of the Week last week. So just starting off from like that last point, Sweet and Tangy with their first quest cape.
Can I say something real quick? Sweet and Tangy messaged me on in-game, and I was doing something, so I didn't have time to respond. And then I went to add them later, and they were offline. Sweet and Tangy, I did not mean to ignore you. Thank you so much for your message. They said just basically like, hey, listen to the podcast, love it. So I wasn't trying to be rude. I apologize.
The exact same thing happened to me last week.
Oh no!
I felt shitty because it happened while we were recording.
Oh.
So like, can't immediately respond to things while like we're having the conversation between you and I.
Yeah.
I went to answer that. I was like, hey, what's going on, dude? Sorry, I've been recording this entire time offline. I'm like, well, cool. I'll just look like an asshole. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So I do apologize for that as well. But yeah. We also have some people who have like individually completed quests. Jordy's on the quest grind, cracking off like Frenetic Exiles, Swan Song, things like that. We got another one here. I want to say, Mythheart also completed. I think it's Desert Treasure here for the first time, which Treasure Treasure's a fun one to do first time around. That wraps up the achievement cape portion of it. In the combat bit this week, interestingly enough, for the first time in the history of Achievement of the Week, as far as I'm aware, we do not have a first Zulrah or a first Fire Cape. We do, however, have a first... Yeah, it's crazy. We have a first Gauntlet kill from Doombar.
There you go.
Congratulations on the first Gauntlet kill. He said it took him 5 attempts because Hunlif knows no chill. That's absolutely true. Hunlif will smack the shit out of you for no good reason. So yeah, glad you're able to pull that one off. It looks like the loot, he may have been scammed. Like I'm trying to see the chest loot here. It just looks like chaos runes. I think our boy may have been scammed.
Oh no.
It looks like it was just chaos runes and crystal shards. That's a not great first chest, the double chaos rune drop, but now that you got your first one, the other one should come a lot easier. That's it. That's the combat for this week. And skilling, we also have a pretty laxed, but also pretty cool set as well. Studer 554 got 99 farming, which is awesome. We got a little mobile screenshot here. And then the other 99 this week, we have PP Hayes, who within like what I imagine are like the same screenshots. It's pretty cool. So he got 99 thieving, but at 11,600,000 XP, he got Rocky. So just a couple days apart. And a little bonus for PP Hayes as well. He said he got an IRL pet drop, and his first son was born a couple of days prior, or a couple of weeks prior, rather, to getting the 99. So 2 days apart, he got the thieving pet and 99 thieving, which again, pets are not achievements, but I think it's pretty cool that it happened like in tandem back to back. Also, GZ on the IRL pet drop. But yeah, that is achievement of the week. Again, if you achieved anything that did not get mentioned, congratulations. Always cool to see people achieve things in Discord, even if it's like, tiny little achievements. Like people, I think Doc Hart posted his like final Zulrah KC the other day. When he got that pet, fun little things like that. I think people have posted various like total XP drops, which is always cool to see. Like I think Jamie gets 65 million range, something like that. So if you've achieved anything and you think it is cool, tell us about it, because we probably also think it is cool. Do that in our TNL Discord in the levels and achievements tab, or awesome drops, or planks and Keck W's, whatever you want to post it in. We'll see it, hopefully.
Email too.
But yeah, email too. I don't think we have any in the email this week. But yeah, that wraps up achievement of the week, Michael. I think we both know what time it is.
What time is it, Oxie?
It's fun question time.
Woo!
Do you have a fun question for us this week? I sure hope you do, because I don't.
We do. So this was sent in last month, apparently. We just haven't gotten to it because we still look like a backlog, but this
for real, we actually do have a backlog this time.
Did.
It's nice.
Yeah, because whenever one gets sent in from a postcard, we just read that. We got in postcards. So this one was emailed to us actually by Zach. They said, if you could take one modern day IRL amenity and add it to OSRS so that it would impact the game in some way, what would it be? For me, I already have one. So do you want to go first?
I have one, but it's so stupid. It's so dumb and would be so horrible for runes. Hold on. Do you want to go first, or do you want me and my dumbass answer to go first? I'll go first, just because mine is stupid, but it's the first thing that's popped into my head, and it's what I'm sticking with.
Okay, so maybe I'll go first, since yours is probably the better one.
No, I guarantee you it's not the better one. You probably have one that's a little bit more thought out. I am officially going to add vehicles to Old School RuneScape. Everyone is going to get a car.
Yeah,
it is a new a new item.
Initiative.
Everyone gets a car in Old School RuneScape. The counterpoint to that is magic. Teleport magic no longer exists.
Oh no!
So it's going to impact the game in that now there are going to be traffic jams all over Gillinor.
Oh no!
It's just the first thing I thought of. Could you imagine? Like, I'm trying to get to Chambers, and there's a fucking 45-minute traffic jam at Mount Quidamortem.
Can you imagine? They're gonna have to
Literally.
like widen the lanes.
Oh my god, traffic jam simulator, dude. That was you get a higher level in like auto mechanics or something that comes out just like replaces magic. You get like auto mechanic. You have
Oh,
99 automotive. You can just like
That would suck, dude.
That would be so bad.
What is like
Trolls
what's the
just said
upkeep
parking
here?
nightmares. There are hundreds of people on this world
Parking.
with me right now.
Oh my
Hundreds
gosh.
thieving this arty night. There's not a single parking lot big enough to fit any. We got like 4 cars worth of space in the Ardoyan Square. The other 600 people here just have to like suck it up. Oh my god. Real-time gas price market? Yeah. This is a terrible option to add to the game, but it's what I'm sticking with. We're adding cars and we're taking away teleportation magic. Here.
I kind of had the same one, but I think yours is a
No
lot better.
shot you didn't.
No.
Oh, so there's
Kind
no
of.
way that we just took the same thing.
Well,
Come on,
mine
now.
was gonna be bullet trains. So if
So
you're
the
adding,
opposite problem.
yeah, if you're adding cars, I'm adding trains. They're kind of, I mean, you can do things like, the coal trains or whatever in
Mhm.
Keldegrim, but like bullet trains. So if you want to go from the Grand Exchange straight to Theater of Blood, there's a bullet train, and there's a train station. You don't have to like drive your car anywhere. Now that we've made people suffer with parking lots, they're just gonna have to like expand the size of the world tenfold to account for all
Yeah.
the parking that you need. Would you be able to get like parts for your car as drops, like to upgrade your engine or something? That so like you get an engine boost so that now
we're just reverse engineering teleportation magic at this point with our things. Like
That's exactly right.
What a nightmare for Ironman.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, because you could effectively buy like a Ferrari if you had 100 mil or something.
It's
But-
hysterical because there is a bullet train that goes from the Grand Exchange to Theater of Blood, and it's called the Draken's Medallion. So like it could exist in game for sure. Yeah, that'd be fun as hell because it would like stop at random points. And then they just would like, oh yeah, it's the underground of RuneScape is massive. There's tube networks all over the place. Oh
Subway.
my god,
Straight up
public
Subway.
public transit. All right, you can get to Tob in one tick, but you have to get a ticket and wait in a queue. You have to wait for the next train to arrive.
And if
That
you
would
miss
make-
the train, you kind of
Bro, you forget to bank and you miss the train by 1 second. You got to wait an extra half an hour for that bitch to show up. That would probably make RuneScape a much more social experience, just like chatting shit while you're waiting for the train.
that
But
would make me log out.
that would be terrible. That would be
Straight up.
just terrible. You set alarms. Some people have alarms on their phones for birdhouse runs. You got an alarm set for the next train that shows
Train-
up. Like, ah, shit, I gotta get to Felda Pills. Sorry, I gotta log in on my phone to catch the train. To
Oh
what?
my gosh. Would you call like having a job an amenity? Like that's kind of like an IRL
No.
thing. Okay.
No, what?
So-
I play this game so like what? Absolutely
No, I'm just thinking
not.
about having like a 9 to 5. You talked about an alarm. I'm like, oh wait, what if I set an alarm to go to work? But it's a
We're
bit
slowly turning
problematic.
RuneScape into Second Life. And
Yes.
Nope. This game is close enough to people's second lives. We don't need to go down that road or that railroad track. That said, if we're adding trains and automobiles, we might as well add planes as well, so we can just get the trifecta: the planes, trains, and automobiles
Yes.
update. And then the DLC for that update will be Francine's suggestion of boats. So
Boats.
It'll just
Sailing?
go.
Confirmed?
It'll go from RuneScape to Grand Theft Auto.
Why don't we just
This fun
start with
question-
horses?
Why
Instead
not
of
that
going
too? I don't
straight
know.
to cars, just go. Just let's.
Well,
let's
that's
break
level
'em
1
in.
auto. That's level 1 auto. Is you get a horse.
like a horse and buggy. If you can't afford a motor car, you get a horse and buggy.
Yeah, you don't
What is
get
this?
the Model T till level 45, and you have to do 2 quests to get
Oh my
it. So like
gosh.
but one of those quests gets you 1 to 20 auto immediately. It's
Oh,
called
It's a
it's
new
called
skill?
Mechanics Assistant. You have
Oh
to
my
get milk,
gosh.
eggs, and flour for a mechanic. I don't know.
You mean oil, spark plugs, and tires.
Is that what mechanics use to? Sure. I don't know.
Yeah.
I pop open the hood of a car and go, "Yep, that's the engine."
That's the engine. It's slowly turning into Second Life and Age of Empires, all rolled into one.
Yeah. We both went with the transport route,
We
which
did.
is just pretty interesting. I can't think of anything else. I mean, I
I have an honorable mention. A community pool would be kind of fun. I don't know how it would affect the game, but like,
oh, that just sounds like
change your swimming.
Oh,
Swimming would be
man.
a cool thing to be able to do because there's plenty of rivers. You know,
Who
wanted to
needs
be
a
able to-
boat when you could just swim down?
yeah, it's true. Hop in the lake.
99,
Hop
you
in the
could
lake.
you could swim to Zaya with 99, cross an entire ocean fully geared. Your pet is like swimming behind you.
No, the pet's got to have like little floaty wings or like
Bro,
a
the pet's
tube.
the pet has like a Minecraft boat that just like follows
Yes,
behind you.
Yes.
Or you get like a flying pet like a phoenix or a heron or chaos elemental that just like floats as it goes.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Cool as heck.
Thank you for the fun question, Zach. I know it was a late one. Sorry it took so long for us to get to you. But that was great. I love that. Transportation
Yeah.
RuneScape. It's happening. It's happening.
Transportation scape. Or just
rename
city-
it.
yeah, or I mean, again, I think there's like city builder simulators that do the exact same thing. But you know, if you want to do it in RuneScape too, give it a RuneScape twist.
Listen.
Why not?
If you suddenly make me go and buy a steering wheel, like controller steering wheel, I have to put that on my desk. Like first person view in the car, you can crash into a tree or something. That's gonna be one hellish.
Welcome to
game.
my steering wheel only Ironman account, where I can only train the account by using a Forza steering wheel for RuneScape. On
Facts.
today's episode, we're gonna try to get a drop from Chambers like that.
Oh my
I would watch that
gosh.
Ironman series. I would. I know Rendy has a video similar, but I would watch that. I would watch that.
I like to watch other people suffer. That's why I watch Tile.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't. Oh, I do play Iron Man mode. God damn it. Oh,
Ooh.
well, what can you do?
So close.
No.
So well, guys, I think that's the episode. Thank you so much for everyone who stuck around this far in the episode. If you want to check us out, we have all the links you could ever want down in the description. I've started streaming again at least once or twice a week. Trying to get Oxie back on that streaming grind because maybe that's how he'll get 91 Thieving is. The community will just keep him distracted.
I'll stream it. That's the most boring
Yeah.
Twitch content I could possibly think of.
Listen.
30 hours of clicking.
We're
That
here.
sounds terrible.
We're here for your sunburned chest, not for the thieving.
I know.
But the links for all of that are in the description. Like I said, I'm streaming again, so maybe follow me on Twitch. Follow Oxie on Twitch. You don't need to check out our YouTubes, but they're there if you want to. If you want to join us on Patreon, patreon.com/Xpwaste. Just to reiterate, we do have a challenge. And Oxie and I are both very excited about it. That's why we're talking about it so much. But if we hit 150 patrons, we're going to get tattoos, and I will get to meet Oxie in real life before somebody else does. Because he's already met like 3 or 4 people, and I'm like, when's it going to be my turn?
Still not one of them.
Still not one of them. Let's see. We have a merch shop. We don't talk about that a lot, but it's xpwaste.shop. We'll have some new designs up there probably this month. So be on the lookout. We'll definitely let you guys know.
Yeah.
And finally, if you like what you see, join the Discord. We are there all the time. So it's links off for that in the description. So thank you guys so much. And I will see you with a guest next Thursday.
Yes, this will be my last episode for several weeks at
Oof.
this point. So live it up, baby. I'll
Live
see
it
you
up.
guys at probably back at like episode 70 or 71.
Oh, man.
Something like that.
Wow.
But
We'll miss you.
This is peace
Just-
out for me for a little while. I'll be gallivanting around Europe. So
Maybe we'll get a call in from you, but
any
rate.
XP wasters in Europe, hit me with some recommendations of shit to do in your
Yeah.
various country, because just going all sorts of places. I don't know, but all right, yeah, that wraps it up for me too, Michael.
bye, everyone.
Bye.